Today guys, we are talking about the brand new Callaway A.i Smoke Paradym driver. New for 2024, a driver that I've been waiting for because I believe this has got big boots to fill. The last year's model, the Paradym Triple Diamond, for me was the best driver of 2023. Let's get the first shots hit with this and see how it performs. First of all guys, looks of it, looks fantastic behind the ball. They have gone away from that navy blue finish. Behind the golf ball, very similar profile, a little bit different, something on there which we will discuss, but first shots with this, can it beat last year's model? And that's a good one to start with. Not a centered strike. It'll be very interesting to get down there and see how far that has gone, because one of the biggest things for me with the Paradym Triple Diamond last year, that it was very forgiving, and it was a driver for me that I thought a lot of handicap golfers could go into. It didn't have to be straight away for that single figure golfer, for that scratch golfer. I feel with the forgiveness you got from that, it branched it out into more handicap levels. Even people in the teens, maybe even into the 20s, were using that driver because they really did enjoy it and they liked the profile. Let's have a look. Another one. Now that is out of the middle, so very interesting there. A great high penetrating ball flight there, and that has launched and carried a very long way. So straight away, sound for me does sound a little bit better. I don't know what I can put my finger on for that, but a nice sound, a nice solid sound off the face. Again, feel off that, exceptional. Really do like it so far. The biggest thing for me with Callaway this year is obviously for me, with the other two models that they have brought out, are they looking a little bit better than the Paradyms of last year? I think that's where maybe Callaway did slip up a little bit, and why the Triple Diamond was probably bought by a lot more golfers at all handicap levels. Yeah, that's a toe strike, a nice low penetrating ball flight. Let's get down there guys, let's see how consistent they have been. The off-centered strikes, one off the heel, one off the toe, and one out of the middle. I've basically covered all of those things. Have I lost 10 yards, have I lost 20 yards, or have I only lost around about 5 yards? That's what we want to see. Guys, we're going to be testing this out here today at Sharjah Golf and Shooting Club, a place that I used to work at 7 years ago. In the daytime, we're also going to be under the lights later on today, and we're going to get the numbers back at home and out at Woolley Park. So I'm going to put it through all the testing that I can this year, start to get in different conditions. How does it perform here in the heat and maybe back at home in chillier conditions, and see which driver is going to come out on top this year before I compare it to last year's model. So as we pull up here, we can see 3 in the fairway, which is something that I have found from the Paradym of 2023, but right there, the heel strike has lost a little bit of distance, but I would say we've only lost maybe between 5 and 10 yards, and for me I would be happy with that. Only to lose 5 or 10 yards on a heel strike. It still found the fairway, but I've not sacrificed too much distance. It's still going to give me the ability that I might be able to reach this par 5 in 2, but now let's get some numbers in the studio so let's see how far this is going. I've tested a little bit of forgiveness there. We're going to do it even more out here on the golf course at Sharjah, but let's see what the Golf Zone is saying for numbers. How far is it going? They do claim that it will be a little bit longer and a little bit more forgiving. Let's test that out now, back at home. So now in the studio, can we test this for numbers? So how far is it going to go? We know obviously Callaway have made some big advancements, or they say they have, with the AI face, and they're going to get a little bit more ball speed and forgiveness. Let's see if I do get any more yardage. For me, it's more like we've just seen outside there. It's the off-centered hit for the everyday golfer that is going to be more important. Are you losing 20 yards? Are you losing between 5 and 10, which I think is pretty good. It was a very heely shot out there, but it still wasn't too far behind the other two drives. Again, the toe one was even out there with a well-struck one, so I'm still getting that distance. Let's hit some shots now. And there's still one big thing down at the golf ball that we need to talk about with this Paradym driver, which I think does make it a little bit, well, it does stand it out a little bit compared to last year's model. I will be putting them side to side in the coming weeks. Again, interesting there. Let's see, carry wise. First one, 250, running out to 270. So obviously for me, driver wise, I'm looking for between 280 and 300 yards. Obviously it's a little bit colder back here in the UK in the simulator, but obviously what we want to see is I'm getting consistency. I'm not getting too much numbers. That's a little bit short, but the first drive of 2024. Not a bad strike, let's see. 270 carry, 290 total. So very similar to what I would expect there. Club head speed right around about where I would want it. Well, where I would expect it, about 109 miles an hour. So pretty good numbers from that kind of strike. 162 mile an hour ball speed. Can we repeat that? Another one, great penetrating ball flight. 167 carry, 186 total. 108 miles an hour, 160 ball speed. So, an interesting, we can see there on the driver head, we do have that A.i Smoke logo on there. So, a little bit different to last year. It was normally a little bit sleeker. We know that obviously on the other models, this is also on there. Something that maybe I would have thought that the tour players wouldn't want something down there, maybe putting them off. For me, does it really put me off? No, but this is just something that's going to look a little bit different, but certainly the finish I do like. It's got a nice gloss finish on the top. We can still see that carbon. We know exactly the tech that's gone in here. This is a triple diamond. All I'm hoping from Callaway this year is that they've improved the look of the other two models. So the standard Paradym A.i Smoke and also the Max driver, the more forgiving of the two. Does it sit a little bit better? Does it look a little bit more uniform? Because that's one big thing that I thought last year you didn't see many people outside of the triple diamond, and that's because obviously maybe the looks wasn't as good. You could clearly see the difference down behind the golf ball, and that's something that maybe puts a little bit of people off. So we've seen with TaylorMade, it's pretty uniform. We've seen with Ping, again, very uniform. Both of those brands have got drivers coming out this year as well, which will be on the channel very soon. Hopefully the ones for the everyday golfer are going to be a little bit more pleasing on the eye, but they will be coming on the channel very soon as well, and we will be getting them in the hands of mid-handicap Dave once James Robinson has done his reviews, because we know what Dave did to a previous driver, which he keeps mentioning, unfortunately, for Dave. So one more inside here. Again, a great strike, just turn that one over. 265 carry, would have gone out to around about 285. That was more me than the club. But unfortunately, guys, I haven't been able to get on the golf course because they have been shut pretty much all the time before and after Christmas at the moment. So I will be getting this out on the golf course, putting it to a test when the golf courses are back open and in better condition. But let's get back out now. Let's hit a few more under the lights at Sharjah before rounding it up here in the simulator. So like you saw there in the studio, very interesting numbers there. Yes, on a centered hit, I did get a little bit more distance out of it, just creeping over 300 yards. So interesting that we have got that little bit more distance, but one big thing they have said obviously this year is that they are getting more forgiveness from all over that face. So the A.i face that they have put in there, which they have put a lot of time into to be able to get you that forgiveness that you want, to spread it out over the face. They've gone through all level golfers to get that and start to see the patterns of where maybe that face needs to be a little bit thicker to get you still getting the ball speeds that you want. Another hole here out at Sharjah. It's really going to test this driver. And another fantastic ball flight there, nice and low, little fade, exactly what I saw with the previous driver. And looks to be a good distance down there again. So I'm starting to see that I didn't think they could potentially beat the Paradym from last year, but they have took this to another level. I'm really enjoying the sound. I'm really enjoying the feel off the face, nice and solid, exactly what I've come to expect. And last year's model driver has been my favourite driver pretty much from all the time I've been playing golf. The consistency I got from it last year was good. I've really enjoyed my golf last year with hitting better drives. And that's another one. A little bit higher there, but still a penetrating ball flight, landing in the fairway. And if that continues, this could be straight into my golf bag. But there's a couple of the drivers we're going to be talking about in the next couple of weeks, and there's some real big surprises to come. Let's show you a couple of shots with this driver from under the lights. Here's another one out here with the Paradym Triple Diamond. Let's see the flight here under the lights of Sharjah. Again, another penetrating ball flight there, straight down the middle. A little bit of a fade, which is exactly what we would expect from this slightly fade biased driver. But now, back into the studio. So guys, you'll have seen out there under the lights again, 2 great ball flights. That's one big thing that I have liked with this driver. I'm getting the same solid ball flight that I've expected to see from this driver, which I did from last year's model. For me, sound does sound a little bit better. I can't put my finger exactly on what that is. It does suit my ear. So again, is that something that you are bothered about? Does it matter about the sound, or is it purely down to performance? For me, obviously sound can relate to a feel, which then does help you get a little bit more confidence, which maybe helps you hit the driver a little bit better. But for me, again, the looks wise, I like the finish on the top. Again, a little bit more gloss finish than last year's model. Can certainly see that. I don't mind that they're going away from the blue, but let's see what the next models from Callaway have. What do the models that are more directed to the everyday golfer look like down behind the golf ball? Have they improved that? And guys, we'll see you again later in the week.